Man, that's dark. What's up, everybody? I was just thinking as that music started. It's such a beautiful, nice, sunny spring day, early summer day here in New York City. And then this like dark, creepy sound is like, that just doesn't fit the vibe today. That's all right. We control the vibe. How's everybody doing? We got Luminous Cloud first in the chat today. What's up? Josh Holiday's here. Totalist is here. What's up, Rex84 from the UK? Data Rebel. Manuel Gloda in Leipzig. Regular freestyle videos is here. Acid Bat and Baumeister in Berlin. Cosmic J. What are you doing watching guitar videos on YouTube, huh? Hello, Farning. And Soul Machine. Yeah, we tried out the Drift. You're asking about Ableton Drift. I did that a little bit with it when it came out some weeks ago. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting a little late today. Thanks for bearing with me as I feel kind of slow and chill on this beautiful sunshiny day. Cooped up here in the content studio at 343 Labs in New York City, which is where we are. And let's say, hey, welcome everybody. You know, this is Selway's Techno and Electro Saturdays. And it is brought to you by 343 TV and 343 Labs Music Production School in New York City, Berlin, and online. And that's what we do. We teach classes. We do live streams. We do events. We make videos. We share what we know with you. And sometimes we charge you for it. And if you, you know, it's a business too, right? We've got classes you can get into and in person here and in Berlin and online. I've got a techno course, a making techno course. I'm still working on the making electro course. It'll happen. And in the other room right now, we got Dan Freeman here. He's a performer and an artist who does a live performance kind of class here. He has some crazy setups with Ableton Live and controllers and custom things, and it gets complicated. But he also, he also does sort of general, just, you know, how to be in front of people, right? So it's a nice balance of technical and practical sort of performance stuff that he's doing. We got another class in the other room. I think we're doing like songwriting and music theory and things like that. We got our instructor Takuma, who's a newer guy here. He's been producing and editing a lot of the videos here lately, if you haven't been noticing. And then, of course, there's me here doing a live stream every Saturday, amongst other things. Oh, look at that. We got Omar Maya in the chat saying you are attending the Berlin campus this summer. That is fantastic. Welcome. Hopefully, you know, well, I'm sure you're going to have a good time. I don't know who your instructor is going to be or what course it's going to be, but thumbs up. Great to have you here. And yeah, also looks like you picked up some old vinyl of mine. Yeah, I've been putting out records for a while. Some of them are pretty old. And yes, regular freestyle videos. I am not to be confused with John Elway or his football course. You know, that's funny. That's like an old school name you're throwing out right there, John Elway. And I remember in elementary school, this is back in the 80s, early 80s for me, the custodian of my school, I'd walk down the hallway and he'd call out, "Hey, it's John Elway. What's up?" Every time. It got old after a while. It was funny, but never been a big football guy. I just know who John Elway is because of that. All right. So yeah, another thing that is happening today is that we are not talking about the Push 3 today. What a deluge, what an onslaught on social media. Like, I feel like it was just hundreds of videos all of a sudden. Push 3, push 3, push 3, push 3. And honestly, I have to say, I feel a little bit, tiny bit left out. But also, you know, there was enough coverage of the Push 3. Everybody knows about it. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I hope our friends at Ableton will work with us. And, you know, 343 Labs is a certified Ableton training center. So you'd think we'd have one. That's all I'm going to say right now. But anyway, no more about the Push 3. It looks cool. I can't wait to try it. What are we going to do today? Well, last couple of streams, I mean, you saw last week on Friday, I didn't have the camera on. I was just trying to focus on the details and working on the arrangement of that track. And, you know, I've just been thinking lately, trying to keep some of these tracks that I'm starting and working on here and there and continuing on with the process, like getting more into like finishing tracks or moving towards finishing tracks during the live stream, not just looking at a specific element or sound design or making a beat or trying a new plugin or whatever. So it's Electro Saturdays, and I'm picking up where I left off with the sketch I've been working on a couple weeks ago. And it's kind of deep. It started out actually heavier. I was doing some experimenting with putting distortion and crazy effects on drums, but then I decided it was a little too much, and it started going into this more musical direction and this kind of hypnotic, traveling through space kind of vibe, right? So that's where we're at. And I'm still tweaking the sounds a little bit, still polishing up some things and getting some ideas, but we can start doing a little bit of arranging today. And I don't know, before getting into arranging, like I said, getting a little bit into the details of some sounds, playing around with the sounds, making them kind of move around and do different things, and thinking ahead about how I'm gonna modulate, automate, change the sounds in the arrangement. It's pretty, I always do that, like when I'm, especially on a track like this, it's real hypnotic, and I want to kind of have some intricacy and subtlety to some of the synths, starting with that guy, which is a simple sound in the Mini V. What did I call it? Look at the preset name, generic plucky thing. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Real simple. And I have it in it's polyphonic. I mean, it's, okay, actually, whoa, I got loud. It started out monophonic. That's sort of the default behavior of a monosynth, right? The mini Moog, the real mini Moog is monophonic, but the plugin can be polyphonic, so it turns into kind of a poly mode. But anyway, I put it in polyphonic mode so I could do stuff like that, even though most of the time I'll just be hearing one note at a time. And then using the voice detuning, in that way, it's going to detune and float and kind of... I don't want it to go too far out of tune, although sometimes I like it. Right, so every time I play a note, a different voice is detuned slightly up or down. And I remembered that I can, in the modulation section here, in the matrix, choose voice number as a modulator. And that actually... I've noticed this going through some presets. Some of the cooler sounding wide stereo effect sounds in the Mini V presets have voice number controlling panning. So let's do that. And now we're going to start hearing that. It's just randomly now. It's not random exactly. It's just whatever voice is playing, it's going to pan it around. It's subtle, but you can hear it now. Little ear-tickling things that I'm paying attention to today, like things that you'd mostly notice when you're just wearing headphones, I like playing with the decay on the filter envelope. And I'm also going to use the voice number to control that. Let's see if that works. We're just going to have a little bit of modulation of the decay on the filter envelope. That's kind of cool. You can hear that it's like as the voices rotate, it's going through a sequence of notes pretty much, or a sequence of voices. So it's going from short to long, and it's in a, I don't know, it's in a kind of polymetric cycle. I like that. I could just listen to this all day. All right. Maybe that's a bit much. Let's pull that back a little bit. Make it more subtle. Getting dreamy today. It's that sound. Okay, let's put something shiny and modulating on this hi-hats. I mean, it's bright enough, look at that. I'm gonna put a granular delay on this. Why not? Why would I do that? Let's see. Definitely in a chill mood today, can you tell? There we go. So it's like it's putting a short delay on it because it's granular. It's spraying and then moving it around a little bit, just giving it a bit of variation. Phasing and comb filtering in a subtle way. Why not? I mean, it could do the same, something similar with a chorus. It probably, would sound almost the same, but I like this. Some low frequencies in there that don't need to be there. I like this. Yes, Luminous Cloud. You've been bugging me about grown folk electro. Is that just like we're keeping it chill and not too aggressive? For us old fogies that just want to relax a little bit, but it's still fast. It's 141 beats per minute. It's got energy, right? But it's got this, it's the hypnotizing melodic pattern with the delay. It's keeping it chill. I mean, if I get rid of that and you turn that up loud and you put on other sounds like, that's a little less, a little less chill, isn't it? That's gonna come later, right? And we worked on some of these drum sounds a little bit last time I had this in here. I was like, tightened up this snare drum a little bit, happy with it. And then there's this big noisy crazy one, which I'm gonna be careful with because it's really intense. That wasn't careful. I'm just hitting the, kind of going crazy on the keyboard down here where you can't see. I should get a top-down overhead shot so you can see when I'm playing. One of these days, I'll get another camera. I could use my iPhone to do it. Okay, next time. All right, I'm getting distracted. Let's go back to the more chill kind of level. There's still a lot of power, I mean, I'm gonna turn it up in here. All right. Yeah, I mean, playing this in a big system would still, you know what I mean. I hear something like that, I just want to close my eyes and kind of drift away with it. And we've got, this is how I ended last time. Just got that note in there I wasn't sure about. Let's mute it. Definitely spacey. Okay. We have a subtle bit of a melodic variation because I have just a progression of it going up and down by a semitone. Simple. Just enough variation. Luminous Cloud's asking for chords. We do have a chord. Oh, that was a little loud. Oop. Let's mute that upper note there. If I have it maybe a longer release time. Sounds like the filter envelope needs to be a little longer. Better. A little bright though. Let's bring down the filter cutoff, or the amount of modulation. Okay, I like that. More in the middle. I should start arranging it, right? What else have we got? There's the bass. It's got some nice sub in there, which I totally forgot about. Let me look at that. Yeah, look at that. That is fat. It's the kind of sub that won't come through on small speakers very well. Maybe you want to work on that a little bit. I mean, I could worry about it later. Just saturating it helps. Too loud though. EQ. Yeah, it's funny. There's all those rules you're supposed to follow. Like you're supposed to high pass all the deep sub and out of sounds. Well, okay, on a hi-hat, obviously you don't need to have any low frequencies, or most of the time you don't. But like something like this, like you're supposed to, they say, high pass everything. And then you start nerding out about how EQs work and how it's filters and phase cancellation happen. Actually, it's all delays ultimately. all these effects. It comes down to delay and phase offsets and stuff like that. But like, yeah, if I do this, it creates a notch, and then it ends up sounding different and hollow. And do you even hear the difference? And I don't know. It always comes up. People ask in class, should I do this? I don't know. Does it sound right? If it sounds right and it's not causing problems, then it's okay. In my case, I was just thinking I should just lower that a little bit rather than cut it all out. That's also like, that's EQ. That EQ is totally wrong for mixing. You're never supposed to do stuff like that. But actually, it sounds cool to bring some of those weird little digital noises out. That's what would happen if I put like an OTT on this, and it would be bringing up all the quiet stuff. We'd hear those little details. Unnecessary. As long as it sounds okay in the mix. I'm not worried about whether this is messing up my kick drum yet or not. That comes later. I'm gonna go back and play with the Moog a little bit just to have fun. Oh, that's nice. I'm like creating counterpoint by increasing the decay time on certain notes. I can do that in the arrangement, or I could build it into the clip right now, or I could use like a live LFO to modulate that. Automations or modulation in the clip is going to be the easiest. I'm going to duplicate that. Let's put it in there and see. How would we do that? Modulation. Okay. This is going to scale, right? This is going to scale the existing value. So if I want it to be longer overall, I need to increase it here. If that was, say, I need to figure out that's as loud as I want it, or not loud, as long as I want the decay to be, and then I can scale it. Getting there. That's what we're talking about. Takes a little finessing to get it. It was almost easier to just do it turning the knob, and if I were to record the automation, it already had what I want. But that's automation, not modulation. Modulation, again, is scaling the value. It's not changing the value. This is another question that comes up a lot when we're working on teaching and learning how Ableton Live works. All right. I'm going to get this right. All right, so I want that note. And those notes. Let's see if it works like this. No, it's got to go longer, right? You can hear it cutting off. Interesting. I wonder if it sounds different because I'm doing modulation and not automation. So all right, we're going to figure this out. It sounds different. The scaling, I don't know why. We have to figure that out. We don't have to know why. We just have to know it sounds different. But somehow the per note automation, the per note modulation of that envelope, when I scale it, it's doing something different than when I increase and decrease the actual value. So, wow, you learn something new every time you experiment, right? I'm really nerding out on this today, aren't I? All right, so this time I did it, I recorded it live. I'll probably end up, man, I'm getting stuck on this. I'll probably end up really doing this in the arrangement process because I don't know, or just flying it in with a controller or something and having fun sort of playing with the automation as I kind of go along with the arrangement. But Let me just fix this a little bit. Lots of fun. Just playing with that one thing is fun and interesting to listen to. Yes, Christian Lipke, you can record the modulation like the automation, I think. Actually, no. Let's clear that up. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right answer before I commit to that. Can you record modulation in real time? Like, can I control this? Because normally, yeah, like if I hit record, sorry, that's the arrange record session record where I'm recording into the clip, and I move this. That's automation. That's a little bit bonkers. Let's get rid of that. I said, let's get rid of that. I'm losing control. What's going on here? I mean, unless I'm missing something, I think you can't record the modulation in real time because it's doing a different thing. Now, Wheelspin has an interesting suggestion. Press record. Yes, just put on an LFO and another LFO on the speed of the first LFO. Yeah. That's actually the first, before I started fooling around with the automation and modulation envelopes, I could just put an LFO on this. I could do it in the, well, we've been stuck on this sound for a long time. What time is it? It's all, okay. We're halfway through, just so you know, a little bit less than halfway through. We need to move forward a little bit, but let's look at this. Yeah, I could put the LFO from the synth on there, but more easily, I would use the live LFO. We'll sync that to 2 bars. And I want to set the phase. So it's what do I want? I think I want 45. Yeah, at 45, the first beat is all the way down. And the first bar at the first beat is all the way down, and then the second bar first beat is all the way up. And that's sort of what I was doing with that modulation. So let's try it. But too wide, right? I can reduce the depth. The shape of that, it's a little too smooth, right? I wonder if a triangle would do. Still really smooth. Can also reduce the range. We can play with the offset. So this works too. But it's not as precise as I would like. You know, if this were like, if I were able to change the shape of this waveform more precisely, there's probably a device that does it. One of you is going to suggest it in the chat any second now, I'm sure. So, and yeah, you could have fun with making this more complex by, modulating that. So I'm changing the shape of the first LFO with the second one. I'm making it sharper. Interesting. Okay, we're kind of losing the plot here. Cool. Good suggestion, wheel spin. Let's take a breath here since we're a little bit halfway through. You know this is 343 TV. It's Selway Techno Saturdays, and today it's Selway Electro Saturdays here on 343 TV, brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School in New York, where it's a beautiful day today. I want to go outside and ride my bicycle. I've said that before. It's something that I do. I go out and go on long rides, and occasionally go overnight and camping and, right out to a state park and that kind of thing. Really enjoy that. So yeah, today it would have been this weekend would have been perfect, but it's also, it's Memorial Day, doing family stuff. We have Monday off. I am teaching tomorrow though. I got a synthesis and sound design class online tomorrow. And, again, that's what 343 Labs does. We teach classes, music production, in all kinds of music production, Ableton Live. We have Logic. We do synthesis and sound design, mixing and mastering, arranging, songwriting, all sorts of stuff like that. I mentioned there's a live performance class going on here right now. And we do all this here in New York. We do all this in Berlin. We do it online. And we're starting our year program in the fall. And we've got, I think, a lot of signups. We're starting off with the bang. We've got a lot of people coming in here and to do much more intensive, taking lots of classes and, every day, right? This place is going to get even busier than it is already. So if you want to know more about all of that, you've got the links below in the description, of course. There's a site for the US and then there's a site for Berlin, but the year program is actually kind of unified between online and our two locations. You could do both. You could be in Berlin and take some classes and then come to New York and continue taking classes and start where you left off. So that's how it's working. Right. Let's see what are you guys talking about in the chat? Hey, Doug, nice to see you. Glad to have you here. And we had some suggestions, sidechain compression, Muse multiband compression on the sub. Yeah, sometimes I do that. And we got Christian Libka talking about the LFO tool being a little, yeah, you're right. The LFO tool can do more precise shapes, but there's the Max for Live device that is more customizable. I believe it's Shaper. So that's the Ableton equivalent of, not quite. It's still, LFO tool is a little more complex, but you can see this is where I would go in and do that more precise shaping that we were talking about. And then that could be looping at whatever rate that I would like. So yes, good suggestion there, Christian. And all right, I really got into modulation and the details of this one sound, but there's all this other stuff going on. And I'm going to take a sip of water here, and then let's start laying it out on the arrangement and see what happens. Okay. All right, I'm not going to start with the bass. I'm not going to start with all of the drums. Not doing any, I'm just going to do linear arranging today. I'm just going to start with this and then bring in this, your typical arrangement method. I'm getting distracted again. I feel like this kick needs some help. You can hear there's a little pop at the end of it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to mix the sound. I'm going to tweak the sound later. And probably just, I feel like starting with that Moog sound. Could be nice. Maybe a little lower on the filter cutoff, so it's a little darker in the beginning. record it in or drag it in? Let's do it I do so much real-time arranging in the beginning, especially like where I'll, especially for hypnotic stuff like this, I'll just start recording and doing things, and that's really kind of the fastest way. But I don't know. Let's be more a little structured about it today. All right. So I'm gonna bring this here. Look at all those LFOs doing and Shaper doing nothing right now. You probably can see it better if I bring back the main screen. There we go. Interesting comment here. The from Wheelspin that the LFO modulation was not as emotional as when I did it in the automation, and the feeling of especially when you've got, if I don't have the MIDI controller here, but just doing it in real time and following the flow of the music with that human touch, it's different. It's not as surgical as using like the sync to LFO, right? So that makes sense. I agree with you. Wow, we're really getting stuck on all that LFO stuff, aren't we? All right, so we've got this laid out for quite a long time. It's like about 2 minutes of that. Maybe we'll just bring in the hi-hat. Going to be really square about the arranging today. Things are going to be coming in on 8s and 16 bar sections. All right, this one I'm just going to record in. Hey. Don't use... Oh, I see why it stopped, because I had the record arming on that track by accident. We'll fix that. This kick has a little bit of a bass note in it, which I like. It's playing the root. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe a snare comes in there. Not the kick, the snare. All right, where's that going to be? We're going to be at the... I'm already losing track of where I am. Okay, too many tracks, not named properly, not knowing where everything is. You've all been there, you know it. Yeah, I'm just listening to this and thinking, the drums are coming in. There's not a lot changing, but that's where going back and doing the arranging with the automation on that synth is going to come in. All right, I meant for this to come sooner. Let's get it in there. So that's going to be 25. I feel like something bigger needs to happen after 32 bars. Maybe we do a little fill here. All right, so this sound doesn't have any velocity sensitivity. Usually when I do little fills, I like there to be some velocity variation so it's not too machine-like. Although this is electro, so machine-like is okay. But like that second note, for example, I'd love for that to be a little bit quieter. Let's fix that while I'm thinking about it. So I just need to assign... Oh, actually, this is easy. In Pigments, you just have... There's a knob for amp modulation for velocity, so... There. Now I fixed it. That's all I needed to do. All right. Actually, I'll just duplicate that whole section with that fill. So I'll just keep that fill in unless I'll just delete it later or change it if I want to. Maybe we put the bigger kick drum here. Which is too loud somehow. How'd that happen? That doesn't sound right. Oh, I know why. Because I was always using it together with this other one. So those both need to come in at the same time. All right, so we'll call that kick 1 or kick 2. Doesn't matter. Yeah. This way now I won't get lost, right? Name your stuff. Name your tracks. Don't be like me. Just getting it in there in the wrong place. And then back to arrange. And then let's edit and make sure that they happen where they're supposed to. All right. Something's still funny about the timing of that. I don't know if I pasted something in wrong, but it seemed like maybe it's just me being sensitive. I'm a sensitive guy. Don't hurt me. Yeah, do you hear how it sounded all rushed right there? Why did it do that? Oh, I see. Look at this. The snare got copied over off the grid. It was the snare messing us up. What happens if we bring in... All right, I feel like I want more sound. We've been leaning on this Moog simple synth all this time and talking about modulating it and making it expressive, and I like it, but like stuff like this needs to happen. Well, that really sets the tone, doesn't it? Gets a little muddy. Maybe there's too much low end in the sound. Yeah, you hear that? That's where my... All right, we'll just avoid that entirely. How embarrassing. So yeah, I see this happens all the time where you think you selected it properly and then you didn't. This time should be good. Right, so now the question. I like this dark ambient swell, right? This drone that I made. And do I want to have it in the intro before the kicks come in? Let's try it. Maybe from 17. That's okay. Oh, it's rising up a little bit. All right, what happens when if I just let it stop? Yeah, these are tricky. The envelopes are so long in this sound that it changes over like more than a minute. The thing to do actually would be, I'm going to make this clip 32 bars and extend that note out for that long. We have to be patient and wait for it. So it's getting real dark here. You can see what the envelope, look where we are in the envelope. See, it's going down. And then it stops. I feel like it keep going. But I like the subtle, increase in energy when the other kick drums happen. Yeah, I'm gonna let this is crazy. I'm gonna make this note is gonna play for 64 bars at maybe not that long, but we'll see. There's something. All right, that's in there. Maybe another melodic thing needs to happen there. All right, I don't even know what this is. Let's see. Oh, that's the bass. That's got to wait till later. We're not there yet. All right, some stuff dropped out. So this kind of has a sequence to it. It plays a lower note. Oh, I know. Okay. I'm composing now. We're going to not have this loop. Yep. Simple melody, but it works. And it resolves on the root. Remember all that? It's good to do that sometimes. Okay, what just dropped out? Aha. That little fill's working out. Need another layer of percussion, maybe? What's this? All right. More crazy, spacey stuff. We have... All right, that's not a sound I want. I mean, I've talked about this many times before, but sometimes I'll start arranging even when I don't have enough parts yet, or because I don't have enough parts, because I'll be at a certain point where I'm like, yeah, I like this and I know I need more, but I'm not sure what it is, or, or it can really become more clear if you start working with what you have and you start laying it out and structuring it. You'll get to a point where you will know, oh, it would be cool if this happened, and then you get it. Or it would be, oh, I should change and make a melody, like I just did. I like that. When I was fooling around with that pad the last time I worked on that, I wasn't really thinking too hard about how I was going to develop it. It was just getting the idea down. And then now that I'm in the arrangement part, I'm actually still, I'm still kind of composing and figuring out and taking what I sketched and developing it more. So, I mean, I guess this is pretty typical, right? We're like composing and arranging on the timeline and creating things as we think of them, right? Which is pretty normal for composition, I would say. All right. It's almost an hour. We're going to wrap this up soon. I'm going to listen to this again and see what we can add before we run out of time. And maybe I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of this automation while we listen on the decay of that synth. As I'm hearing it, there's a little bit too much random modulation on it from the voices. It's not random, but it sounds random. It's also really easy. It's so like sensitive. It'd be better to have a knob map to this and I could have it scaled. Could do that with a macro, actually. I'm gonna go back and do this better, but we get the idea. Something like that. And then something needs to happen here. Or just playing with that. But a new sound should come in, or something more contrasting should happen there. And I need to be better at that. All right. And then we have the variation where it goes up and down. So, where were we? Maybe here at 65. Maybe that's where that needs to happen. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. It would be helpful also. Sometimes I'll change the color just so I know. Okay, there's a different pattern happening there. All right. We started a track today, basically. We started arranging a track and adding more to this track today. We also have this one. That's got to come in when the main synth is lower, though, because they kind of fight each other a little bit. Be better when, yeah. I'll automate around that. Probably bring this in there. Different variation. That's kind of nice. Got to keep those drums going, of course. Although it was kind of actually kind of nice for the hi-hat to drop out. So maybe it was more these guys. What was it that was continuing there that was nice? These guys. Not a bad little variation there. And they still haven't had the bass yet. The bass line could have come in there already. What happens if we do it here? Maybe it should come in right there. Because this all just sort of goes, it's getting jumbled. All right. Down to the end of the show. Still, I almost don't want to stop. I know you'll be like, don't stop, but I have to stop. I have to go. I got to get back to the family, do some weekend, Memorial Day stuff. But I'm glad we made some progress on this today. Yeah, just, I'm listening. You know, I have my notes. I know what I need to do. In terms of how to fix this. Like the bass coming in, it's kind of buried by all that stuff. So the bass needs to come in. Well, the mix needs to be balanced better with that and the kick drum and how it's sort of sticking out or not. And I think those chords are a little bit loud. I turned them up too much, so they're really covering up things. Yeah, I got some notes. I'm going to get back to this and work on it a little bit more. And we'll check back in another stream and see where we're at. And, maybe I'll work out some of the more time-consuming stuff, and then we'll go in and look at it and do some of the details. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out today. Nice to come back here on Saturday. It was on Friday last week, and do a little bit of kind of chill, grown-up electro for you guys. And seeing some new names in the chat. Great to have you here. Welcome to the new people. Come back. And to all the regulars, glad to have you here as always. Thanks very much, and have a good week. See you next time. Adios.